Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the back nine of the Starkville Christmas Classic second round lead card coverage. Jumping right into hole 10, par 3, 262 feet. This is just a stock right-hand backhand hyzer shot here. Very thick woods to the left. OB ditch far past the basket, but you'd really have to get a hold of your disc to throw it that far. Let's see how our players attack this. Hunter up first, throwing the nice wide high hyzer to extra height to control the distance, but unfortunately throwing a bit too wide. Thankfully not in the thick stuff, but he did roll further away, which is not fun. Corwin up now. Opting for the huge spike hyzer angle. And he'll end up in a fantastic spot as well. Also, OB Creek to the left, behind all the woods. I forgot to mention that. Kyle Watson throwing a bit straight. Nice kick out of the woods there. It's very dense. You do not want to be in there. So he'll have a look at the two. Here's Sean up now. Catching some of that brush there, and he'll end up in the thick stuff. Here's Edgar up now. Getting a nice bit of skip off of this really thick grass. Still, he'll be in a pretty decent spot for the two. Kyle from distance. Ringing it up. Nice to see Kyle connect on a nice long putt like that. Up next, I believe we have Hunter. From about the same distance, just a bit further down. From our perspective, anyway. As you can hear, the wind's still a bit whippy. Giving that a good run, unfortunately ending up OB in the creek. Here we've got Sean's look at the two. Sean, unfortunately, not blessed with Corwin's long legs. Can't really stretch out. Giving it a good run, but a little overcommitted, if anything. Here we have Edgar with his look at the two. Nice center putt here. Here we see Hunter stepping off his meter. Really unfortunate miss there. He will unfortunately take the double bogey. Corwin for his two. Nice committed center putt there. Hunter just absolutely disgusted with himself. Sean connecting for the three. On to hole 11, par 3, 387 feet. We have this OB ditch along the left side. There's a rope line and flags, and then an OB parking lot to the right. So it just gets narrower and narrower as you get closer to this sloping green. Up first, Edgar. Edgar with a huge lead over the competition. He can pretty much just coast along, play it safe, get birdies when he can, but not go for anything crazy. And he throws this nice and wide. Kyle Watson now opting for the forehand, the much riskier, higher reward play. High risk, high reward. OB the whole way. And absolutely parking the basket. Fantastic shot. Great forehand from him, because this is a long hole. Corwin now. Throwing a little bit too flippy for the line. And that's in layup zone right there. Here's Sean. Really attacking it now. Pretty good shot. That's a little bit of a tester with just how downhill scary death putt that it is, but should be a look at the 2 for him. And Hunter bringing up the rear with the very unfortunate double bogey on 10. Not flirting with that left side OB, throwing it nice and safe. Here's Edgar. Just pitching up.
Playing golf.
Good bid, bro.
Playing golf. Right, sorry. Princess layup.
Okay, Sean, you gotta be mean.
I thought you'd all appreciate
buns,
that.
You know what I mean? It's like a little... I did too. I thought you from back there.
I couldn't cut that out. You couldn't pay me money to cut that out. That was hilarious. Hunter for his look at 2. Oh. Death putt got into his head. Just couldn't commit on it. Corwin all kinds of committed. Unfortunately going OB. They will incur an OB stroke here. And just a chain out, which is evil. Why? Of all the times for a chain out. Ugh. Kyle with his look at 2. Great 2 from Kyle. Fantastic drive. Almost a 400-foot forehand shot there.
That's what it feels like.
And Sean with his park job for his 2. Great drives from all of our players here. On to hole 12, par 4, 673 feet, longest hole on the course here. OB Creek here to the right, so primarily all you're going to do on their first shot is get as much distance to the left as you can. Just try and smash it out as far as you can to give yourself an easier layup. Kyle Watson up first. As you can hear, the wind is blowing.
Kyle, Sean, Edgar, Hunter, Cole.
Kyle getting a good line on this. End up in a fine spot. Ideally, you would like to be closer to the OB ditch so you're not throwing straight at it on your second shot, but if you can choose to be OB or to be safe on the left, I mean, obviously you're going to choose to be safe on the left. Sean throwing really high and ending up pretty short to the left, but it's safe, so that's really all you want. Edgar up now.
Much better. Much better.
Huge improvement from round 1 where he hit that tree.
Yeah.
He'll smash that down the left side.
If there was no wind,
Probably have about 350, 380, somewhere in that range to the basket. Hunter now. Bringing up the rear, I believe. No, Corwin is. Never mind. Getting a fantastic shot here. That's every bit of 400 feet. And Corwin finally, as the fates foretold.
Try to pull out my Kyle Gray disc. Good luck.
Talking about his Kyle Gray disc, he got a Halo Destroyer in the same color that Kyle Gray did when he played Dog Days. There's Sean.
That was a good mess up.
And he ended up a bit
Gosh,
short, but
bless him.
with that line, he was going to go OB if it went too much higher. Corwin now.
Great shot. Come on.
He'll end up in a fantastic spot. Look at the 3. Here's Edgar. Using his Jedi mind tricks to get it to go to the right. That's layup zone for sure. Complete death butt behind the basket. Kyle Watson now. Throwing something a bit too stable. That's not really in a range where you can run it. At least not comfortably. And here's Hunter. CTB. He'll put himself at a spot where he can run the 2, or I'm sorry, run the 3. Sean just laying up. Tap in par. Not a bad result on this hole. Look how close that OB line is. Kyle Watson. I don't know if that was a run or a layup, but he'll have a tap in 4 as well. Edgar here. I hate those pump fakes. They they mess me up every time. Just a nice safe run. Tap in 4. Not losing any strokes here. Not taking any unnecessary risks. Here's Hunter for his look at 3. Nice committed putt here. Getting back on that birdie train. And a bunch of tap-ins here. Corwin went a bit long. And just a bit low on his par bid. Unfortunately, he will have the tap-in bogey. Not really able to stop the bleeding yet. Sean and Edgar with the 3s, or I'm sorry, 4s. On to hole 13, par 3, 256 feet. Mandatory to the left of this oak that we're going to the right of right there. And the basket's only like 15 or so feet past and 20 or so feet to the right, so gotta throw something really overstable. Good throw there from Hunter, but he'll end up pretty far past the basket, opting for the very wide left side. Kyle Watson now.
That's a good line.
Wow, that's all over it, dude.
Ending up in a fantastic spot with a friendly roll towards the basket. Sean now, opting for the roller that he attempted in Dog Days to great results. The wind not really helping in this situation. He'll end up in front of the tee box for 17.
I was thinking the wind would help push it over. That's gonna be a good job.
Here's Edgar now.
Yes. Wow, as close as you could get. Hello, and that knocked off the tree.
He's throwing really close to that tree. He'll end up a bit far behind the or past the basket, excuse me. Here's Corwin. And this did not make the mandatory, unfortunately.
If I had a Japanese sword, I would commit seppuku or whatever that's called.
I swear.
After a couple
Dang,
fives
no.
in that, I had to make sure.
Proceeding to the drop zone now. And just a little undercommitted there, but that's a pretty far putt, to be fair. Here's Hunter with his look at the 2. Not yet to Sean because there was people playing on the hole. Oh man. Even when he's good, Hunter's just not able to connect on those. Sean trying to throw that in. He'll end up a bit far. Should be a look at 3 though. Kyle for his 2. Great 2 from him. Charging up toward Edgar's lead, but only a couple more holes left to play. And Edgar getting this just spit back out in his face. Tap in 3, but that was just a stupid stroke to lose there. Manufacturer defect right there. Sean good for his 3.
I saved the bogey.
And Corwin in for his bogey. And Hunter finally tapping in his 3.
You can't, but it does suck.
Edgar was robbed in broad daylight.
By a stupid basket.
Turn it all over. So say manufacturer defect.
Hole 14, par 3, 287 feet. This OB little culvert here, or washout, or whatever you want to call it, is roped off and flagged, an OB walking path to the left, and obviously OB road as well. But if you go OB over the walking path, everything to the left is OB. Kyle Watson up first. Opting for this high hyzer line. He'll end up in a fantastic spot. Nice look at the 2. Here's Hunter. Throwing really wide. Unfortunately going OB in the culvert. Not happy with himself on that one. Here's Sean up now. He reminds me a lot of Emerson Keith, where he's got that sneaky distance. Nice line here. And he's parked. Great shot from Sean.
Through the putter first round.
Edgar up now, throwing that really beat up zone. Also opting for the high hyzer line. Throwing a bit too wide. A little bit of a tester for the 2, not the 3, excuse me. That's not OB. Here's Corwin. Also opting for the backhand hyzer. No forehands this time, which is weird. But he's absolutely parked as well.
I think it takes 3 putts to get one.
Here's Hunter from where he went OB. I guess the car didn't think he crossed inbounds on the other side, but a little forehand approach. And you see he just skipped inside that metal grating.
I was over here talking to this.
That would have been very scary for if it went into the culvert. Edgar for his 2. I don't know if he's on a birdie train or a birdie tank because nothing seems to be able to stop him. Here's Kyle for his 2. Nice center hit here. Kyle definitely trying to reach first place.
Get to compete still.
Corwin for his tap in too. Great shot from him. Sean for his tap in too. Almost a star frame. If only Hunter was in here. He ruined it for everyone. What a jerk. The bogey. You deserve that. On to hole 15, par 3, 245 feet. A pretty open tee shot, but as you get closer to the basket, as you can see, there's a bunch of trees. Thankfully, they're not super thick, so kind of just pick a line and throw it that way. Forehand and backhand have nice hyzer lines, and it's a bit of a fast green, so you can expect a bit of ground play or a skip. Kyle Watson up first. Opting for the forehand. Getting a nice skip. He'll be in a great spot for the 2. Probably 15 or so feet. Sean up now. Hitting the gap that wasn't aiming for, but getting a great shot anyway. Edgar up now. He's throwing another Raptor. Could be wrong. I don't know his bag. Also opting for this forehand line. Nice little low skip shot. He'll end up in a great spot. A little bit longer than where Kyle is, I think. Excuse me. Corwin now. Four forehands and a backhand. And all really good shots. What was that, 3? Oh, whoops. And here's Hunter, that I definitely thought he already threw. Also opting for this forehand shot. And I'm pretty sure he's CTP with that shot.
Yeah, it's just.
Here we have Edgar for the 2. And if this is the furthest from the pin, you know, you might be looking at a star frame. Excellent 2 from him. I mean, how do you catch up to somebody who's just not missing anything? Here's Corwin for his 2. Nice and committed. Nice straight putting stroke from him. Here's Sean for his look at the 2. Bit high, but it still went in. Scorecard doesn't care. Hunter for his 2. Making up for that bogey. And Kyle for his 2. We got a star frame.
I have to say one more thing about my just changing.
On to hole 16, par 4, 597 feet. This first shot's more about placement than distance. You probably want to throw about 250 or so feet just to get around this corner and have a look at the green and throw another 250 or 300 foot shot at the basket. OB walking path and OB culvert. The culvert usually isn't a big deal after your first shot unless you go OB off the first shot. Here's Kyle Watson
16 on the short, so it's pretty good.
making the gap look really, really easy to hit.
I did that
Or the corner.
16, we shot a 16 in the first round. We had to play shorts, we played longs, we played long on Sunday.
Here's Sean.
Clayton was giving me all kinds of crap about, is it me?
I don't know, just go, you're good.
Yeah, good. Clayton was giving me all kinds of crap about not shooting good on the shorts. It is Sean, Edgar, and so I was like, I'm not doing good.
A guest appearance by Kyle Gray there. Sean getting a good line on this. Ending up in a great spot. Just past those trees. That's ideally where you'd like to be. Opens up the second shot much more. Here's Edgar up. You hear that snap off his hand.
That's better. That's good.
And that's in a fantastic spot as well.
I say that. You didn't go over it.
I mean, as long as you're past that edge of those trees, you're in a great spot. As long as you don't go OB, you're in a great spot. And up against a tree. So as long as you're not OB or up against a tree and at the end of that corner, you're at a good spot. Corwin showing us what it's like to not be in a good spot, ending up just on the edge of those woods before the corner. So thank you, Corwin, for taking the fall on that to show us what it looks like to not do it right. Hunter now. Just making it to the edge of that corner. He'll be in a fantastic spot. And here's Corwin with not a lot of options. Opting just to pitch out to the corner. Didn't really have a lot of options there.
Think of it like that.
Corwin up again.
That's a different kind of packing.
Throwing a bit too stable here. He'll end up into the woods to the left there. Almost pin high. Here's Kyle Watson. Getting a great line on this. He will end up about 50 or so short inside the little ditch. Not OB, thankfully. Edgar now. This will end up a little bit too stable and it'll end up in those trees. But he'll have a look at the three. Sean with the best look at the basket. He'll end up a pretty good spot, but not ideal for the three. Hunter with the CTP, off the first shot anyway. He'll end up about pin high with this shot, close to the tree line. Here's Corwin from the woods. Forehand roller, you know, is a really sad state of affairs when that's your best shot. Just pitching out to the trees, essentially. Here's Hunter. His look at three. Ooh. Very committed putt there. Kyle Watson for his look at three. No, just over the top. Nice and committed. I believe this is Corwin over here. Should have an easy tap-in bogey there. Here's Sean for his look at the three. As you can see, that first shot being past the trees leaves your approach a lot more open. And he will have a tap-in par. Edgar with his look at the three here. Very committed putt. Sad to miss the birdie putt, but not losing any strokes to the card, so still maintaining his 5-stroke lead at this point. I believe this is Hunter for the 3. Ooh. I think that might have actually been for par. Sean for his par. With only 2 more holes left to play, Edgar would have to really make some big mistakes for the card to catch up to him at this point. Just has to keep playing smart. Corwin tapping in his bogey. Hunter with the bogey as well. And Edgar with his par. On to the penultimate hole, hole 17, par 3, 299 feet. This is probably going to be a putter or mid-range shot for most of our players here. Just a nice straight shot. You've got the thick trees on the right and then these crepe myrtles on the left that kind of make it a bit of a guarded green. Ideally, you just throw it up the middle. Kyle Watson showing us how it's done. Leaving this one a bit wide. He'll have a look at the 2 though. Sean up now. Throwing a bit too flippy here. He'll leave this out pretty wide. Here's Edgar up now, our current end.
All of us threw outside right this time. Okay.
Throwing this pretty wide right, like Sean was saying. Ending up getting kicked down by that tree, but it should be an easy up and down for the 3. Hunter yanking this one off to the right. And Corwin, bottom of the box.
And he kept it inside the line. Great job.
With the best shot of the group. Those T signs, courtesy of Andy from Disc and That. Huge thanks to him for putting in all this work while also running an awesome shop. And I'm not just saying that because I'm sponsored. Hunter with his approach. Here's Edgar for his bid at the 2. Easy 3 from there. We see Kyle with his look at the 2. Oh, just not really able to string it together. It's been all over the basket all day. Here's Sean from long. I thought this was going to be way further to the right. I guess he got a bit of ground play behind the hill. Just leaving it a bit short of the basket. Here's Corwin with his look at the 2. And he's good for it. Not really in a position to catch the leader at this point, unless I don't know. I think even if he DNF'd, he'd still win. Hunter for the 3. Should just see the rest of our card tap in their pars here. And then we move on to the ultimate hole.
Yeah, definitely number 1.
Hole 18, par 3, 395 feet. This is an absolute smash. OB to the left of this parking lot, but no other OB as far as I'm aware. So if you've got the distance, just throw the hyzer, obviously. It's just that easy. I mean, it's just 400 feet. Corwin up first with the birdie.
Thunderbird?
Yeah.
Throwing a Thunderbird to get that far. I couldn't throw a Thunderbird over 300 feet.
Yeah.
Kyle Watson now.
I'll do that after.
Throwing this nice and wide,
What's gonna happen here?
but leaving it just a bit too wide. We'll have a bit of a tester. Here's Sean up now. Throwing a great line here. It'll be about 25 or so feet from the basket from that shot. Here's Edgar. Throwing this nice and wide, giving us a great line. He'll be about 20 or so feet from the basket here. Here's Hunter.
Glad I could be a part of it.
Have y'all seen him?
Oh,
Wes
great.
Rodriguez to you yesterday. He's like, what's wrong? Like, no, I'm nothing.
Throwing this to a
It's like,
great
it's like-
spot. He'll have the best look at birdie. Here's Sean with his look at 2. Nice and committed. Easy 3.
No drop, zone.
And we've got Kyle way down there in the background.
I know you and me were freaking out for third.
There you go. Zoom in. Let us see what's going on. Good job. Kyle from middle circle 2. Taking no time and smashing the putt. Great finish from Kyle. Here's Edgar with his look at the 2. Ooh, leaving it a bit short with a nasty roll away. But he could just lay that up, tap in the double. Or tap in the bogey? Bogey. Here's Corwin for his 2. Just leaving it a bit short. Hunter for his 2. Chaining out right side. But at this point, the door is closed. Edgar, your Starkville Christmas Classic champion. Regardless of the outcome. Getting props from spectators in the card. Great finish from him, leading from round 1 all through round 2.
He got a film on how to win a tournament. It's 2 rounds right there.
Great scoring from Sean and Kyle Watson as well. Hunter trying to keep in the fight. Corwin kind of just couldn't connect it all together, but Edgar Bedolla, your champion. I want to give a huge thank you to Andy and Disc and That for sponsoring this footage and sponsoring the tournament itself. Thank you for believing in me, giving me a shot. And thank you for this amazing tournament and for, yeah, nothing. I don't really have much else to say. All the cool discs I got from you after this. Give them a looky, see if you're ever in Starkville, and tell them I sent you, or don't. I don't care. Anyway, hopefully catch you on the next coverage that we film, and I'll see you all next time.